Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital. Welcome to another episode. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you guys so much for subscribing. We have had an increase in subscribers since yesterday's two videos. Really happy to see that. Thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, delve into the channel, check it out and see if you like it. And of course, join the journey, join the Rekt Capital journey, join the Rekt Capital channel and subscribe today. So let's dive right into the video. This is going to be a video about Bitcoin specifically, and you guys who have been tuning into the channel for a while now are quite familiar with this particular chart because this is essentially the historical supply area. The area that's going to be weighing down on price, and we've seen this be a support before, but of course post-crash breakdown, relief rally into here, and this is why we caught this pullback candle into 10,100, because this was going to be a relief rally just to confirm this resistance as a new resistance, right? So an old support was lost, breakdown, and now relief rally just to test this as a new resistance. But the thing here, guys, is that we're actually seeing a higher low at this point in time, and that's quite promising. And a higher low is a good sign because essentially it just showcases that week to week people are buying at higher and higher prices. Of course, wicking past this higher low is still happening, but people are generally enjoying the fact that they get to buy Bitcoin on the dip, even though it's not going to retrace to levels from a few weeks back. So people are buying the dip, but at the same time, the sellers are still strong and weighing down on price considerably. So at the moment, I'm just wondering, will this higher low continue to persist? Because if it does, that's quite positive for Bitcoin, especially since this higher low could form an ascending triangle just below this key resistance. And if that ascending triangle indeed does form, then that's going to be a bullish pattern that will allow and enable price to really pierce through this supply area, because we need to reclaim the top of this supply area as a new support once again in order to move further upwards. But at the same time, guys, at the same time, we've retraced only 21% from the highs. Generally, minus 27% to 43% bull market retracements is what we tend to see. So a minus 21% retrace from 12,400 in this bull market, that's quite a shallow retrace. And with everything going on in the world right now, a lot of uncertainty, it's not really conducive to a bullish sentiment, an overly bullish sentiment. And that's what we need at the moment for Bitcoin to break out from what could be an ascending triangle in the works. So that's something to really be thinking about, because we have to be critical about the price action. This is the monthly time frame, and we only have the monthly close in a few days, so not too far away. And of course we have the quarterly close as well, which is probably going to be even more important, because higher time frames, the higher the time frame, the stronger the signal. So depending on how this time frame closes, whether it's the quarterly or the monthly, we can have and adopt a new directional bias potentially. But basically speaking, this green area is a support area. Previous resistance over here, and this was an area where we kind of tried to hold as support, but we didn't. We failed to do that. In any case, this is still a support area. This is the 10,300 to 10,800 area, and as long as we have those buyers there, then we're gonna see a nice bounce from here. But of course, a monthly close below 10,800, and we're probably gonna see a further retracement in towards the 9,000s, because if we have that close over here, that's gonna just dictate to us that we're not seeing that buy side pressure here. So that's something to watch out for going forward, the monthly close, how that will behave in the context of this demand area, because this is the demand area that we need to hold to have any semblance of bullish momentum maintain itself in the same way that this weekly higher low is holding. Those are the two crucial things that we need to hold to keep that bullish momentum sustained. So having said that, how does that tie in with the historical price tendencies that we tend to see after the halving? Halving 1, post-halving consolidation within a reaccumulation range, breakout, pullback, successful retest, and continuation. That's post-halving number 1, very simple. Post-halving number 2, accumulation, breakout, pull back into the top of this range high for a support, once again accumulation, and actually pull back once again. Accumulation continues, breakout and actually pull back once again into the top of this range and then continuation towards the upside. That's the sort of recurring price tendencies that we tend to see after the halving. So post-halving range, consolidation, reaccumulation, breakout, pull back, potential retest, and now further continuation. That's what the recurring price tendencies are suggesting to us. So if this is indeed the pullback into the range high, which didn't quite close, it didn't quite retest this with picture perfect accuracy, it didn't quite do that. But theoretically, if you really want to make an argument that this was a successful retest, then you can definitely make that argument, because since then we've had a higher low form, and that's the higher low that I'm talking about over here on the weekly time frame. That's essentially what we're seeing ever since this weekly higher low, and it's even dating back to all these higher lows, right? This is the higher low within the post-halving range, and once again a higher low over here. So of course we have to bear in mind what this price action could that potentially replicate over here into a head and shoulders even. Something to bear in mind, because this higher low, if we reject from here and formulate a shoulder-like pattern, then this could easily turn into a head and shoulders with the higher low actually being a neckline. So at the moment you're seeing rejection at 10,800, which is that really key resistance area at the moment, and of course 11,200. So it's this area that's going to be a resistance area. So let's see how this higher low continues to form. Will there be a right shoulder? That's something to watch out for going into the weekend and potentially even into next week. So ascending triangle or not, head or shoulder, it's really could go either way. I'm not going to be necessarily taking a bias because we're just sandwiched in this region at the moment. Really, it just is not necessarily ranging, because this ranging hasn't actually been a perfect range. It hasn't really translated into great altcoin rallies. This is kind of price trying to find its footing, trying to reestablish what's going on at the moment. Will there be a lower high over here? Still not conclusive. We need a bit more data at the moment, but on the higher time frame, I explained to you guys what I'm going to be watching for. On the daily, not much to get excited about other than the higher low. But that being said, this higher low is still just pressing price into this resistance area right over here. So let's see how that resolves, because this scenario right over here for price retracing towards the top of that post-halving range to fill the CME gap, that's still going to be on the cards, especially if we can't maintain this higher low and we lose this support right over here. So there is a variety of ways that price could still behave, and it's just about watching for those patterns to just materialize. And there'll be an element of technical Darwinism in a sense, where you get to narrow down into the pattern that's becoming more and more likely, because the head and shoulders is now out of the question, let's say, and this high low is still holding. So this resistance may be weakening and we're not having a lower high. So once you see all these things play out, we can definitely start to hone in on the more likely scenario. But I just want to very briefly mention my technical analysis course. 44 people rated it as a 5-star course, 17 hours worth of video tutorials for beginners and intermediate traders. Here's the overview for the course. For every tutorial, you have a corresponding webinar. So for the support and resistance tutorial, you have a webinar where I answer questions from students. You have a tutorial on order book reading, and you have a webinar on that as well. So fantastic jam-packed value all in one. Here are a few reviews from students of the course. Check out the link in the description down below for the TA course. It's definitely worth your time. And having said that, that's about it for today's video update. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider dropping a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. I'm Rekt Capital, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak soon.